Welcome in. Good afternoon. It's the Ticket Punchers here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. I'm your host, Roman Kelly, joined today by my co-host, Curtis Phillips Jr., birthday man on the show here today. Happy birthday to our handicapper, Curtis Phillips, a.k.a. Philly Picks, also soon to be joined on the show by J.R. Anderson, our other handicapper here on the Ticket Punchers. A lot to discuss, a lot to talk about. It is as it is our first show of the week. That's how the Tuesdays operate for us. We had Mondays with Dalton Pence on yesterday, so no Ticket Punchers on. But a lot to discuss, Curtis, a lot to get into because March is mad right now, and there is a lot of outcomes and a lot to predict going forward. How are you today, though, sir? How was the long weekend? Away from the show, and then how's the birthday been so far?
Yeah, thank you for that, Roman. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Last weekend was pretty great. Got into really a lot of things throughout this past weekend. Saturday and Monday, got to cover some NCAA women's tournament games down at the Yum Center. So that was a great experience. Few good friends of mine had an engagement party Saturday, so got to go to that. Good event as well. My son turned 1 on Sunday, so celebrated his birthday. And, of course, my birthday is today. So I had a pretty eventful weekend, so not much to complain about there. So how was your all's weekends?
I had a long weekend as well. I worked Saturday in the daytime, watched the Louisville game while Louisville baseball was on. They got the job done, but the Cards on the basketball side couldn't get the job done, unfortunately. But I did have one of those weird shifts where I'm listening to something, I'm working, I'm playing the commercials, I'm listening for the spots and my sound cues while I'm also got my phone right here and my eyes glued to that, trying to see if the Cards can get the job done over MSU. And JR, you called it, right? Well, I stayed away from the Cards money line in this one. But we took the spread in this one. We didn't hit the spread, unfortunately. You took Michigan State, so we'll be getting into that in here in just a couple of minutes. But had a couple of funeral things. Grandpa passed away last month, and we waited till this month to do the celebration stuff because we had a lot of out-of-town family that wanted to be there for it, and this was the best time to make that happen. So long weekend there, family stuff, family events, meals, eating, doing all that you do when you're having those celebrations of life and whatnot. R.I.P. to Grandpa Pop. But fellas, it's March Madness is going on. We've got a lot to discuss, and I'm ready to get into it. JR, how was the weekend? How's the fam doing? And how was the overall weekend of punching those tickets?
Yeah, weekend was good. Just hung out with the family. We're a bunch of couch potatoes and just watched some good basketball, man. But overall, family's good. Sun's finally coming out. About to crank the lawnmower up and get to yard work. But other than that, college basketball is phenomenal. I'm glad to see Ricky P get it done. That was the most exciting part for me overall. So, got
a Rick Pitino supporter here on the show. Definitely gonna be watching what he does here in this tournament. Some interesting things, some things you can maybe look into if you're suspicious about this matchup. I saw some statistical things of Pitino in these kinds of spots typically gets the job done. So we'll be looking into that throughout the week as well. Fellas, I'm excited to be in here with you guys today. I'm excited to be chatting, and I'm excited to punch some tickets and get right into it. Let's first start off with the cards. JR, you punched in the Michigan State ticket. FanDuel, which we're not supporters of here on this show, but we do utilize due to their irrational rate in which they give out profit boost. They gave out the 100% boost to people in the region, and you capitalized on this, taking that Michigan State money line from, what was it, minus 215 or minus 200 to down to basically an even line there.
Yeah.
Curtis, after JR answers, we'll get it from you, but talk us through the Michigan State-Louisville matchup and what was going through the overall head and emotions there with that pick, JR.
Yeah, I mean, we're missing the biggest puzzle piece of them all. We had been missing him for quite a few games. I think our overall record was 8-6 without him. So, I just thought about it from what Izzo's game plan would be on the defensive side, which is take Conwell away. And, even though they didn't do that, they did a really good job of just either allowing him to score in certain situations, but they didn't allow anybody else to really get off. I called it before that McNeely was not going to hit 7 threes again, especially against that tough defense, and our bigs just didn't show up. Frew and Zoo, we just didn't get enough production overall. You got to hit shots, but you get also late shot clock with really good half court defense. You got to get stops, and we couldn't get any stops, man. They kind of lit us up in the second half. The first half we looked really good, but just fatigue, and Conwell can't keep up with 4 against 1 when it comes to guard play.
Defended well in that first half, but just didn't have enough juice without that front court presence for us in that second half. Curtis, talk us through what you were going through in the Michigan State-Louisville game.
Yeah, so coming into the game, I thought the spread would be much higher, like close to double digits, but the fact that it was sitting around 4.5, 5.5, that alone just gave me hope that, okay, the books know something. Although we didn't cover, we hung in there for much of the game, but to be honest, I unfortunately didn't get to watch most of the game. I was covering the Alabama and Rhode Island game at the Yum. So I had the game on, but I couldn't really watch it. Every time there was a timeout or, a quick out of bounds, I would, check my phone real fast to see, what had changed. But it seemed like every time Louisville made a run, Michigan State kind of took off again, and we could never get over the hump. We couldn't tie it or take the lead. So they really capitalized off everything we had. But I mean, overall, I'm just glad we kind of hung in there. We got our one win in 9 years. So I'm really just happy for that. And it's always a what if. We didn't have Michael, so it's always that what if factor. So.
Yeah, you're right. We didn't have our key guy, but we did get over that hump, right? No win since 2017 in the NCAA tournament. To finally get that one as Louisville fans feels good. And then for Pat Kelsey himself, who hadn't won, right? To see him get that first victory is nice. So I'm not going to say the job got accomplished by any means with this season. When you look at where the expectation was at the start of the season, non-Louisville affiliated media outlets talking about how should be a top 10 team all year long, should be a top 5 offense with the way that they should be able to shoot the ball. We only saw that a couple times this season, and we only saw it what felt like with Michael once. When you look at that NC State game, and it's just tough because you got to kind of conclude this season knowing that what was supposed to be the highlight of this season didn't get to play that role like we wanted it to. So in that aspect, it's an underwhelming season. And it's not even a season where I think you can chalk it up as successful. However, in a down season, right, we want this to be a down year for Pat Kelsey. He still got over a couple humps, beat your rival, was still a top team offensively this season. So those are things to kind of be positive going forward when we continue to have some more chats about Louisville, when we see the way that this roster gets constructed this summer. Yes, it's a betting show. It's a betting show with 3 diehard Louisville fans on it. So we're going to discuss these rosters, and we'll center it around betting, right? With every new player that comes in, we'll say our expectation where we see this Louisville. We'll center that around a win number potentially as the roster kind of gets constructed. So definitely a lot more Louisville talk to come here on the Ticket Punchers, even though the Louisville men's basketball side has wrapped up their play. And fellas, the Louisville ladies, they've got an exciting matchup coming up. We're going to try to see if we can find some betting lines centered around that one as well, because the Lady Cards are getting the job done, and they have the opportunity to do something special here as well. So let's get right into it on today's chatter, fellas. I do want to do a quick little recap on the games that we have seen in the NCAA tournament before we look into what we've got going this Thursday, and then, of course, giving our punches for tonight. Most surprising outcome so far in the tournament for you guys, JR, we'll start with you. I know there's maybe, you look at how Florida went down. That's one of them, I think. The way that Miami played in that first half and that discrepancy in the second half, that outcome's not surprising. But when you look at what happened in that game, Miami forgot how to play basketball in that second half. That was kind of surprising to watch. Anything that completely shocked you at all, though, JR?
I did not think Nebraska was this good. I don't know if it's just their defense and then some really good shot making. We got all the number 1 seeds besides one, and the other teams, everybody feels like they belong. But Nebraska is that one for me that I was just like, I didn't see this one coming. And then, I love Acuff in Arkansas, but I didn't think that they would be here still. But hey, I'm proud of them. I just think about the Arkansas's offense, and it's literally Acuff. I always say it with us, we're always one ankle injury away from catastrophe, and it's like Acuff is the offense. He generates 90% of it. So, but he's balling, dude.
36 points per game so far in the tournament.
He is balling. I didn't really get to watch him during the regular season, but the AI comparisons, just seeing how he generates and how he can play within the offense and not shoot you out of it is beautiful. You don't see that too much in today's game. So Arkansas, Nebraska are it for me. Florida, I kind of thought that they had a chance to getting upset just because they don't have the shooting. They don't have the Walter Claytons of last year, anybody that can, really.
Xavier Lee is not that guy.
But they are big, as far as rebounding, you get one shot and, pretty much one and done, but just offensively, they didn't have the guard play. So, yeah.
Yep, I'm with you. That one has been surprising. Interesting you bring up Darius Acuff. His stock seems to be rising right now. I think it's funny, offensively. Yeah, offensively, he's a talent you can't pass up on. But fellas, we don't see that the discrepancy in what a player is bringing offensively, even at the point guard spot, and what he's bringing defensively.
Yeah,
I feel like we haven't seen that big of a discrepancy in a while. This is it's Braden Smith bad, he can't guard players of his ability, but then there's not many players that are going to touch a basketball floor that he's on that can guard him. It's going to be one of those interesting things. You've truly got to hide him on defense. If he doesn't learn how to play those passing lanes and be able to be that off-ball defender or that pest, Steph learned that. Steph learned how to not be a liability because of the ways that he can kind of create pressure through passing lanes and anticipation. Darius Acuff's going to have to add that to his game, but he's my favorite guard to watch in college basketball right now. Curtis, any of the outcomes before we get into what we've got ahead in the week surprise you over the weekend?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily surprised that Florida lost this early, but I was not expecting it to be to Iowa. I think that was the big thing there. Iowa, a team that has no size, but kudos to them. They hit a lot of tough shots that game, but I just thought this Florida front court was gonna dominate and they wouldn't need the shooting, but that was not the case. So yeah, that was one surprising. And then Texas, I think they definitely surprised me as well. We was talking, I want to say last Wednesday, we had NC State beating them in the first 4, and three wins later, they're still rolling. So them getting over the hump against Gonzaga and BYU, that was definitely a little surprising to me. I was definitely not seeing them in the Sweet 16. So those are two that jumped off the page for me.
I like it. I'm excited to see how this turns out, fellas. We got an 11 seed still around. We got a 9 seed still around. I'm excited to see if one of these lower seeded teams can make some noise, can make something happen. I think Texas has a favorite with the way they've been playing and the way that their guards have been hitting shots. If you get that kind of production from your front court against Purdue, you can win that game. So excited to see what Texas can do. They're in a really, really surprising spot with the wins that they've got. Let's transition here, fellas, because I'd love to get into some picks for these Thursday games we've got. I know there's a couple of NIT games tonight and a couple of NIT games tomorrow, I believe. Women's NIT getting started up as well, which, we'll probably wait till the later rounds in that one if we're going to be betting on that one. But I want to ask you guys, the NBA has gotten to that sweet spot in the season. We know who's elite. We know what good teams are serious and what good teams aren't serious, right? Because that's an interesting aspect to the seeding in the NBA with the tiers of the teams, right? A 4th-seed team, a 5th-seeded team, some seasons can be a contender and some seasons can be a team that you don't expect to get out of the first round. And it's excited to see. I'm excited to see how this kind of plays out because I think that the consensus is now OKC, the Spurs being like the two heavy hitters. With Tatum being back, the decline you're seeing in the other teams in the East, and the best player in the world kind of seeming like it's Jokic still, I can't predict what's about to happen, fellas. And normally when March is rounding out in the NBA, that's usually right when I get I know either I'm right, I know the teams I had are correct, or these one or two teams are up here and I didn't expect them to be. I'm not there. I think it's OKC. I think it's the Thunder. The Thunder and the Spurs feel like they're a tier above the rest. It feels like it doesn't matter who's in the finals or who's in the conference finals if one of those teams is there. I kind of wanted to see where you guys are at with just the overall standings in the NBA right now. Not necessarily what are you surprised by, as we do have a couple of comments here in the chat. Kerry Williams chatting in here. You think Arkansas beats Arizona, beats AZ Junior, Longhorns? We'll get into that here at the end of the show. Kerry, I appreciate you getting in on the chat. But JR, it's getting spicy in the league. The Spurs are like 23 and 1 in their last something games when Wemby reaches a double-double. Like they're on when Wemby's at his best, they're the best team in the NBA.
Yeah. No, Spurs are my favorites to come out of the West solely due to Wemby. I think he's the X factor. I think this year he'll be ready to accept the challenge more so than last year. I feel like he was still a little bit green behind the ears, understanding the pace and the intensity, physicality. Chet is not an answer for Wemby. I think Wemby is going to, assert dominance this year, but it's also going to come down to the guard play. They still got Shea. They still got Jay Will. He just came back last night, looked good. So, they still got a hell of a squad. I do think OKC's still deeper. They go 10, almost 11 deep of just solid, adding McCain. He's been balling out, so like if any injuries happen on their side, it's a lot easier to recover compared to if Wemby goes down or D-Fox, anybody like that. Like it's going to leave a big hole. But my favorite still the Spurs, barring health. And then, I think our Lakers are catching fire at the right time. We just got to play a little bit better defense. But the Lakers are capable of beating, some of these top tier seeds. But I think we'll have to go through maybe a Minnesota or a Denver early on. So the matchups are going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to come down, like you said, to Spurs and OKC inevitably, and I think Jokic as a Jokic and the Nuggets as a strong third.
I'm with you, Curtis. How are you feeling about the top teams in the NBA right now?
Yeah, I agree with y'all both on the West front. Feels like OKC and San Antonio just shoulders above pretty much everybody. But y'all's Lakers are getting it together at the right time, so that's good for y'all. But yeah, and San Antonio, I like JR pointed that. They've beat OKC this season 3 times, so they've shown that they can beat them, and they can beat them in a series. As far as the East goes, obviously with Cade going down for extended period of time, Pistons stock is going to go down. Although they've been winning without him on this slide, but for me right now it seems like the Celtics, that would be my favorite at this point. Knicks, not a believer in. Cavs, still trying to see because they haven't had Jared Allen the last few weeks, so obviously I think that's their big X factor. So we'll see when he comes back how the Cavs will be, but right now, yeah, Celtics for me out the East, and then OKC and San Antonio. on that west side. So,
yeah, the Spurs are 22-1 in Wemby's last 23 games. In those 23 games, he's averaging 25, 11, 3 assists, and 4 blocks, and barely over 30 minutes per game. So, got one of the best plus minuses in the last month as well. He's at an high level, playing at an extremely high level, and it's really it feels like whoever comes out of the East has their work cut out for them. Gary says here in the chat, "Give me the Spurs and the Celtics for the chip."
not mad at it.
Feel like that's a pretty popular pick. I wouldn't be surprised at that pick, but you bring up a good point, JR. I was gonna wait for one of you guys to bring it up. I don't want to be the Laker beat writer here on the show, but
Nuggets.
I feel like we're the most overachieving team right now. I feel like we're in a spot that's the most unexpected. I don't think anyone is surprised by Luka's play, but he's playing at a higher level than expected right now.
Yeah,
and it kind of brings me to the MVP talk. Go ahead, JR, because
I'm gonna say, like, when you look at Shea and his dominance, just like Jokic before him, and Bron in the early years, it's like Luka pound for pound is one of the only ones that can produce, if not a little bit more, just all around. I would say Luka's a better rebounder and a little bit better of an assister of the basketball. When it comes to scoring, I say they're damn near even. I think Luka just has a little bit more size, which allows him to do more in the low post and things like that. But Shea can get it from all three levels. But if they do match up, it'll be a hell of a matchup. It's just those two offensively will offset each other. So it's going to come down to, the two-piece, which is Jalen Williams or someone else. Wemby's the only one that has a extremely dominant presence over everybody. Like, there's no one in the West that can match up outside of Jokic, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's tough.
It's one of those things that I think the bias in me is like, okay, take away each of these players and what are these teams? Who's the best team then?
All right.
It's not the Lakers. I know that, right?
No.
And then you look at what each of these players is doing within their seasons right now for these teams. It's kind of crazy to say this, but it's not crazy to say. Shea is doing what is expected of him, right? We expect you to be that 30-point per game mark, being one of the best teams on offensively, and the other personnel on that team allowing you to be one of the best two-way teams in the league, right? Kind of all of that starting offensively with Shea, and then him not being a slouch defensively either. But it's all happening as expected. Kind of crazy to say this, that 25 points per game, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 blocks. Kind of with Wemby being healthy, this is what you expect out of him, right? And with a fully healthy Wemby and the emergence of Stephon Castle, they're the deepest team in the NBA. You expect them to be as a team where they're at, and Wemby's performing as expected. No one thought the Lakers were going to be right here in the 3rd seed, and no one thought Luka was going to be performing like this, right? Averaging 40 over a month span pretty much. So I feel like we need to start getting more nods for that MVP for those MVP shots. But when the defensive player of the year is on the best team in the NBA or arguably the best team in the NBA, you don't really like Luka. It's just crazy that a lot of other seasons in the NBA, Luka's in the lead for the race, right? But because the best defender is also now on the best team, which we don't see very, very often, that Wemby's going to be getting those shouts over Luka. And with Shea meeting expectations, right, there's no reason for him to not be there. Still feel like Luka deserves a little bit more love for that.
It does.
Agreed.
Let's look into tonight's picks, fellas. Before we answer Carrie's questions here about the Longhorns and the college, and we get back to what we have to look forward to, I will be missing Thursday's show, unfortunately. We've got a Kings rehearsal for our game on Friday. I will be here Friday, but I'll be missing the show on Thursday, so I do want to give some talk out today and tomorrow on those Thursday games. Curtis, what we punching in tonight?
Yeah, we'll start off with baseball. I don't think I've gave a baseball pick in a while. Florida State -1.5 at +100. Florida is coming into town, and Florida State's just been a dominant home team, 14-1 at home. Florida just 3-3 on the road. They've lost 3 straight road games, so I think it's a top 25 matchup, but I think Florida State wins by the run line. And then I'll go to the NBA, the good matchup we have tonight between the Nuggets and Suns. And I'll go over the total at 232.5. Nuggets on the road simply have not been playing defense in the month of March. Lots of high totals, 118 to 125 versus Grizzlies, 125, 127 versus Lakers. I know that was an OT game. 136 to 131 versus the Spurs, 126 to 129 versus the Thunder. So they've been scoring, and also they've been giving up a lot of points. I think the same thing happens tonight versus Suns team, who is in the 7th seed right now, fighting for a playoff position. So I think their offense can get rolling tonight as well. So those will be my 2 official punches for tonight.
What was the second punch, Philly? Sorry about that.
Nuggets and Suns over.
Okay, over.
232.5. Yep.
All right. Before we go to your picks, JR, I've got 2 picks in the same game that I'm going to drop. I'm on the Devin Booker 25-plus points at -156. We know what he does on his home floor against these top kinds of teams, and in teams in particular who have been lacking in their perimeter defense, right? I think Booker exploits that tonight. You also see Grayson Allen back. You know that floor is going to be spaced correctly for the Suns, how they like. Even Jalen Green should be playing as well. I also like the Nuggets to win, money line straight up. I'm going to take the -5.5, but the money line is going to be the official punch that I also be taking with the 2-leg with Booker. JR, what you got for us tonight?
Yeah, I was going to say also Booker and Murray love to battle. So
yeah,
Wildcats at heart. First one, LaMelo Ball over 11.5 rebounds and assists, -125 going against Sacramento. I love Desmond Bane over 24.5 points and assists in games where Suggs, Black, and Franz have all been out. He's averaging right around 32 PA in 36 minutes, so 30% usage increase, and he's covered 15 out of the last 18 games. I had a third as a squeeze here. Royce O'Neal over 8.5 points. I think he's going to hit 2 threes and get a layup, and maybe some free throws down the road there. He seems to hover right around that 9+, 10+ points. Just hitting open shots. But -120 for Royce. And then to answer Carrie's question, I don't think Arkansas wins against AZ. I think AZ is just way too deep. I got AZ winning national championship in my top bracket. And I do like them to cover the, 8.5? Yeah, 8.5. I think in these types of games, even if you alt this up to maybe somewhere around 10, 11 points, take the extra juice, maybe you'll be around -125, 150, but I love them to cover the 8.5. I do think it's going to be a much closer game. I think Acuff and some of the bigs down low can dominate Arizona's bigs, but it'll come down to guard play, and I like Acuff. I think he'll have 30+, as long as he don't get in foul trouble or do anything silly. We'll see how Vegas lets us play with this one, but I love them to cover. I do not love them to win, even though they are +285. If they do, that'll be a major upset, and I think it'll be Acuff having to go for 30, 35, and, like 5, 6 assists, something like that, but love the cover.
I'm rocking with Trey Murphy as my third official punch for the NBA tonight. 20+ points going up against a Knicks side that just, fellas, defensively, I'm questioning the consistency there. Yeah, that they can get the defensive rebounding. You're not going to be able to get a lot of offensive rebounds on this team, which is typically why they can have better defensive performances. I don't think that they have enough out there on the perimeter right now with their rotation to stop somebody like Trey Murphy, who is in a bounce back spot coming off a bad game against Cleveland. Before that, he had been on a pretty good tear of scoring the ball pretty effectively. Early in March, he was on an insane tear scoring the ball. So we like him at the 20+ spot to bounce back here after that bad performance against Cleveland, against a side that I don't think is going to keep Josh Hart on him long enough to keep him from 20 points. Fellas, that's my last NBA punch for tonight. I did want to get Curtis's opinion on one more play for tonight, Curtis. I'm rocking with a little bit of NHL for tonight. I wondered how you felt about the the Bruins Maple Leafs under 6.5. That was going to be my last official punch there. Like that -120 spot on 2 teams that have been playing pretty high level of hockey recently here on the ice.
Yeah, Roman, haven't been paying too much attention to the NHL. I know Bruins are a better defensive team at home, so that could come into your favor there. But yeah, other than that, I don't have a true strong opinion for that, so I apologize on that front.
No worries, but I'm rocking with it. Bruins, Maple Leafs under 6.5, 7:10 p.m. for an NHL punch here. Like you mentioned, the Bruins don't allow a whole lot of goals, especially against these good teams. It feels like they kind of get up for the heat of the moment against those teams. Only pay attention to a few NHL teams right now, but the Bruins, Maple Leafs are both one of them. So we're rocking with the under 6.5 in that one. And fellas, this is going to wrap us up on the radio side of things. Stay tuned. We'll be on X. We'll be on YouTube for getting out a few more plays in our triple punch parlay. We'll get Curtis's as well. I think Curtis is going to leave the show here for us. Got to wrap some things up. But stay tuned on YouTube and on X to catch us. This has been the Ticket Punchers here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. And fellas, let's go punch those tickets.
Punch those tickets.
All right, fellas.
Thank you, Kerry.
The right time frame there. Shout out to Kerry in the stream, chatting with us as a buddy of mine. Didn't mean to throw the full government out there, but I just read what I'm reading and
I
put it on YouTube there. You need to make a burner YouTube, Cream. Come on now. But yeah, fellas, I didn't have any other official punches I was planning to drop. We got that NHL punch out there as well. Maybe a little bit of greed centered around that one without the official NHL handicapper giving me his go on that. But let's get into this. Well, before we lose you, what's your triple punch parlay piece for the night?
Yeah, I'm rocking with you, but Devin Booker on the PRA, 35 plus PRA minus 150. Like you said, I mean, JR mentioned that him and Murray like to go bump against each other, former Kentucky guys. Like I said, they're in the 7th spot right now. So for them to be competitive and win games, Devin Booker, he has to be on his A game. He's hit this in 3 straight versus the Nuggets at home. I think he goes off tonight. So 35 plus PRA for Devin Booker at minus 150 will be my triple punch.
I like it. What you got for us, JR?
OKC money.
Straight up?
Oh, yeah. Minus 164. I like it. They're at Boston, but
that's tomorrow.
I believe. Why does this always do this to me?
I would say
that was my favorite one. Dean Wade, 6 points.
That's tomorrow.
Dean Wade.
That too?
Yeah, OKC.
No, Dean Wade's tonight.
Yeah,
no, I was talking about OKC. Sorry.
So, lock that in. OKC for tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. If you want OKC down, get the odds now because I won't be surprised if that goes up to like 4.5.
Or injuries. That's the only thing that I could see them getting ruled out.
I also like the over 218. I think that goes up to like 221.5.
Oh yeah, 218.
I won't be surprised. 28. I bet it'll be 221.5 this time tomorrow. Yeah. But go ahead, JR. What'd you like? Do you like Dean Wade?
No, you go. Let me find something else. I had a couple.
I mean, I've got a couple I liked as well. When you've got Evan Mobley playing Donovan Mitchell and Harden on their home floor, I'm gonna rock with the Harden. I was gonna rock with the Harden 20+ points tonight against the Magic.
How you feel about LaMelo 20?
I like LaMelo's 20. I worry, but like I don't take player props if I see a 17.5 line. I've costed myself too much. He's going to have 17 points in the fourth quarter and be in the game and not be shooting and get taken out with 8 minutes left because they're up.
Right. Yeah, it's too many times. Yeah, I try to stay away from double-digit spreads like on the player prop.
Over 12.5. I'm not taking
too many times, bro.
I like it because but it's like we're racing for him to get there before he gets pulled.
Yeah. But when
you get 20 and 3/4,
yeah,
he just got 36 and 3/4 the other day.
Right. But it's like when I try to take an under because I'm putting in that blowout factor. That's when it's a close game and then he's in and there you go.
So I stay away from the blowout lines.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But also
it would be a decent game.
Is the Hornets defense good enough to stop the Kings from winning by 20?
No.
Yeah, there's no way I was like, no.
They're about to win this game 124 to 115. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Was our guy in the chat here as well? I watched Iowa take Nebraska to OT on Nebraska's senior day. Think Iowa wins that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a Big Ten matchup. The spread's only 1. This is really a coin flip. Like, they both been playing really good basketball. I'm not mad at it. It was our guy. I was streaking. Nebraska's streaking. Pick your poison. I'm staying away though, personally.
Yeah. I say get a coin and call it in the air.
All right.
It's the way some of these are gonna go.
So we've got Booker
35 plus PRA. And I'm sorry, fellas, I do have to hop off here. Got some dinner reservations, so
no worries. It's a B-Day. Go enjoy that B-Day.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Happy birthday in the chat for Curtis. You know his punches are good luck tonight.
Getting unk status like these guys. So yeah, I appreciate y'all though, man. I'll see y'all.
Yes, sir. Punch them tickets.
All right, Curtis. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Let's punch those tickets.
Let's punch those tickets. So we
got
Booker. We got Booker on his 35 plus PRA from Curtis. I'm gonna rock with Harden on the 20 plus. Let's go find you a player prop. You know
I'm looking at this Palo 1.5 threes plus 130.
You know he jacks them up.
Yeah, has exceeded 2 threes in 6 of his last 7 versus bottom 5 defenses. His last game in Indy, he had 4, but then the scary part is he went goose egg 1-3-1. But
that's what but all those that 1-3-1, he probably got 4 attempts on all of those.
But against Cleveland, his last 5 games, he's covered 2-2, 3-3-1. Or last 4 out of 5. Plus 130. I don't want to cost us the punch, though. Let me see how many he's attempting here.
How about the con? You don't like the con 18.5?
D-Mitch goes out tonight. Yeah, I agree, Karen. I think D-Mitch always plays good against these boys. Con, you said Con what?
Knipples at 17.5 tonight. We could probably find a water down spot.
Yeah, just it's like y'all said, Sacramento. That's why I was trying to go with LaMelo. I feel like he's due for a little spice.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked Zion. What's the Zion rebounds line?
I was gonna take him for 20 plus points.
He just had 25 and 6 against Cleveland the other day, coming off 15 and 5. He's weird, man.
He is.
Because it's the in 2 days span, you took 7 more shots, and both defenses aren't great in Cleveland and the Clippers. So I just don't know what changed.
Yeah. Derrick
Jones Jr. Is that big of a discrepancy from Evan Mobley? Is that the case? John Collins. Is John Collins hurt?
He's been in and out. I wouldn't be surprised if he is. Mr. Fragile.
What you like?
Something's telling me go with Aaron Gordon.
Ooh, I didn't look at
Aaron Gordon either over 7.5 rebounds and assists.
In a dog spot kind of a game where you're gonna have to play big. What's it at? 15.5?
Over 7.5 rebounds and assists is minus 168, 88% cover. In the last
so there's Malawak's playing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Iguodaro's playing, but no. Okay. Royce O'Neal. This is a weird one where I like this because Grayson Allen's back. I like this line because Grayson Allen's back. There should be more minutes at that small ball lineup they like. They'll go Royce O'Neal at the 5 in some of their lineups. I like that. I like the 7.5.
Yeah.
But what's his rebound line at? 6 at minus 125. Let's jump on that.
6 rebounds?
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon has failed to exceed 5.5 rebounds in 5 straight games. I think that's what it is.
That's why it's so low.
Yeah, under 5.5 for 5 straight.
Because he gets the 5. He gets the 5 and doesn't get another one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. 3, 5, 5, 5, 4.
That's an ugly one. That's an ugly one. And then the 5 plus rebounds is going to be what? Plus 200.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what it's at. Over 4.5 rebounds for Aaron Gordon is locked. It's locked all the way through. You can bet his 6, but you can't bet the alt. What does that mean, JR?
Yeah.
That means he's getting 3 or he's getting 10.
Yeah. Every time I try to take him under, he goes for 12.
Wait a minute. Is Malawak starting tonight? Have they released the starters for this game yet?
I keep seeing a lot of props, so I think so. Let me check.
If Malawak's starting tonight, he's not playing hefty minutes. Give me Aaron Gordon.
No, it's Gillespie, Booker, Green, O'Neal, Iguardo.
Iguardo? Yeah.
Yeah. I call him Iggy.
He's got some energy to him.
I love him. He's, crazy energy. I was going to go Tristan Da Silva. He's been hooping, man.
He sold me real bad one day, and I haven't bet him since.
That's what he does. I like him for 10 points, 9.5. You know what? The hell with it. Let's go Da Silva over 9.5 points. To
10 plus at minus 192.
Should I go 10 or 10.5? His line is.
I'd go 10. It just went up to minus 188. What the hell?
Yeah, because they know he's gonna get it. Yeah,
I just watched the line move and I just watched it shift.
Yeah, I've been squeezing a lot of TDS. He's been covering pretty solid at 10 for majority of the time, where I'll take him a combo like points and assists or points and rebounds. But yeah, I like that.
So 10 plus at minus 184.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, perfect. We'll get that in and get that posted for you guys as well if you missed it. Kerry says, I feel like D. Mitch goes off tonight. I do agree. Lazar guy, happy B-Day, Unk. Happy B-Day, Brody. We'll let you guys know if you didn't see those. We didn't check the Game Day Men's Health text line, actually. Lazar guy, don't know. That was a mistake of mine. Checking the text line 9 minutes after the show ends, but we'll give it a quick look. I like that triple punch. Booker 35 plus PRA, Harden 20 plus points, Da Silva 10 plus points.
Yep. Like
let's get that in. Let's get that in and see what we've got here.
Mitch's line is at 27.5. He's went 25, 45, 36, 23, 11, 22 against these boys. Is it at home or at Lando?
It's in Cleveland.
Home? Okay.
I think they blow them out.
Yeah. Are they fully healthy?
No, Jared Allen.
Mitchell, Merrill, Wade, Mobley. Oh, no. Take the D Wade 5.5. I didn't know he was starting. I thought
on the board.
Yeah. He's covered 6 points, 10 games in a row.
Oh, on the points.
Yeah.
You want Dean Wade's points on the triple punch?
Maybe I'm tripping. What was that line? Wasn't it Dean Wade? 5.5?
He was the reason somebody didn't cover my rebounds for me the other day. It was Mobley. I took Mobley's boards. I took him at 8.5, and he got 8. And I look, and I'm like, why the hell does Dean Wade have 10 rebounds?
Yeah, Dean Wade has exceeded 5.5 points in 8 straight games at home, minus 106, 100%. Last 10 or last 8 at home. That's crazy.
Dean Wade 6 foot. This is probably the lowest point line we've had on a triple punch parlay yet.
I'm scared.
Over 5.5 points. Let's get it.
I'm scared.
All right. We'll get that in for the triple punch parlay. Appreciate you guys. Mitch crushing that line with was it 27.5?
27.5.
I mean,
could be a blowout.
Guarding him, he should.
No, it shouldn't be a blowout with Wade and Merrill starting unless they just go bonkers from 3. But I could see Don going crazy. I feel like Harden and Don still figuring each other out. It's either one night, Harden's just in that pass mode and he goes and gets 15 to 20. And then there's nights where he wants to get it up. And I feel like with Orlando not having dominant guard play, I could see Harden wanting to take a little bit of take a little bit more shots, squeeze the lemon a little bit more. Who the hell's guarding him tonight? Bane? Yeah. We already took him as my play here. They got, Keon Ellis, Paolo, Tristan, Desmond, Jamal Cain, Wendell Carter. They need to make a trade, man. Orlando needs to trade away the 4 and the 5. They need to get rid of both of their bigs. I don't like none of them.
Atlanta?
No, Orlando.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
need
Franz is supposed to be the 4, isn't he? No, Franz is the 3.
Yeah, Franz runs the 3. But I mean, if I was a coach, Paolo would be running the 3. Like
Paolo would be my. You would be. I would ask you to do what Jokic does. You have the strength and the ball handling ability to bring the ball up and be the 5. You can guard the 5.
Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter need to go. They've been there way too damn long.
If you're gonna let if you're gonna let Banchero be this ISO mid-range shooter, he needs to be doing it from the 5 position.
Yeah, he's had a down year, man. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the additions of Bane and just Franz being in and out. But when is Franz supposed to come back? Will remain out for Tuesday's game against Cleveland. His assignment to the G League practice represents first notable son. Okay, good deal. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Javon Carter, Bane, Silva, Banchero, Carter. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Cleveland could come out and smack them.
Yeah, they could. I'd like taking Wade over more than Silva.
Mobley might have 20 at half.
With 4 rebounds, though.
Yeah.
And that'll be the reason they won't blow him out.
He's about to get the 3s up tonight.
All right, JR, let's get it. Let's go punch those tickets.
Yeah, brother. Let's punch some tickets.
Appreciate you guys in the stream as well. Lock them in. Let us know how they go.
Yeah. Happy hunting, Zard and Terry.